But yeah, I haven't acquired any new talents or anything other than patience.
Which is a good one.
Yeah, I'm very patient. Just sitting around and waiting on all this to be over for the last 2 years.
Well, congratulations.
Yeah,
how big is the relief? Like when you heard 2 months, were you dancing inside? Were you?
Yeah, I was pretty happy. I was pretty happy. I went in prepared to get the full 6 months or whatever potentially. Like I sort of mentally prepared myself for that, and but also knowing that it could be 0, but also knowing that maybe they throw some curveball and they try to like railroad me or something like that. You never know. So yeah.
I got sued for someone else broke a contract and then sued me for it. And I had never been through the legal system before. And it was ridiculous. And I was talking to a lawyer and I was like, we have all this evidence. We have all these emails, all these things that I was like desperately trying to get him to sign a contract. He never did. And now he's suing me for breaking a contract he never signed. And the lawyer basically was like, well, you are probably going to win, but people have lost and won at better odds.
Yeah.
And you never know if you're going to win. You never know if you're going to lose. And what ended up happening was the judge basically threw out all of his claims and said this is preposterous. And then was like, but you should probably pay his rent for 3 months.
Oh,
and we were like, but why? And she's like, because it's folksy and we're in Tennessee. Like it was so ridiculous.
I sentenced you to be his butler.
That's what it was. That's what it was.
Because he's my butler.
Because he's my butler.
Yeah. It can. I'm about to sue someone myself. I've been waiting for this whole thing to wrap up. I can't talk about it for obvious reasons.
Oh no.
But we've been. Yeah, that's right, Steve. Me. I had enough of your defamation of my character. And we'll be suing you in the state of California. It's gonna be rough. So someone we're gonna sue someone who didn't do a good job at something they were supposed to do. And
don't give too many details.
Of course not.
I know. I'm joking.
Yeah, I'm the tight-lipped one. I ain't gonna spill any details about this pending lawsuit. But that'll be good because I'll probably profit quite considerably from that.
While you're in the halfway house, is Wings gonna co-host or who's gonna?
I will host. I don't care if I got to fucking satellite phone in. No, Wings is not gonna co-host.
I would love it if you could bring your computer to the halfway house and just.
I don't think.
Do you remember when Wings of Redemption had a random cast of characters behind him? Here's Crazy Joe. He's living with me this week, but he stole all my Coca-Cola. I'm not sure it's gonna work out, right? Like, that random guy. Remember the guy came by was just dressed in a Confederate like soldier's uniform for some reason.
I thought that was a Marine Corps uniform.
No,
or something like that. There was a Civil War reenactor in the background.
I think there was a Civil War reenactor behind him, and like people would just show up and they'd have like random guests with no mics screaming across the room. And
was he doing like great. The worst ever Howard Stern's whack pack?
Yes.
I have wanted a whack pack for so long.
He has, but you're going to go to a halfway house. There could very well be whack pack material there.
There probably will be. I will see if maybe I don't want to bring those people necessarily back to my home. But
they live there, Kyle.
I mean,
they live there too.
You're on a nice luck streak, so like, I say go for it.
Yeah,
let's roll the dice.
Keep
Andre, bring the amigos. We're going back to Mikasa.
But see, I don't know what a halfway house is like. Apparently, I picture something like a hotel where there's a hallway with lots of doors on either side, and everyone retreats to their own room.
I have no idea.
I think you have roommates in most of them.
Yeah, I may have a roommate. It may be like a Full Metal Jacket scenario where it's just a big room full of beds. I don't know, but again, 2 months. It'll be. I'm interested in it'll be good stories. I'll come on here and I'll be able to tell you guys what's going on at the halfway house. I'm sure I'm going to meet a lot of interesting people there.
That's where they go.
Sure.
That's where they go.
They're all going to be drug offenders based on
what are you in here
sample
for?
Size.
I was too interesting for the outside world. Excellent. It's going to be a lot of that. But yeah. Looking forward to paying my debt to society, and moving on.
I'm looking at pictures, by the way, and like they range from everything from like, oh wow, that's a really nice like castle looking thing, to like, look at this fucking shack. And so,
Yeah,
do you know?
hopefully you get a good one.
On Wikipedia, it kind of looks like a church. I'm having a hard time resizing
There's
the image.
there's one I see with a picture where it's like one bed per room, and there's one with like a Full Metal Jacket situation where there's like, or a Southern fraternity house, where it's like sleeping quarters.
Let me read this to people. Just, it's not long. A halfway house is an institution that allows people with physical, mental, and emotional disabilities, or those with criminal backgrounds, to learn the necessary skills to reintegrate into society and better support and care for themselves. And then it goes on to talk about how a big component of halfway houses seems to be a therapy.
Yeah,
that's
I don't think
all I
that'll
know.
be the case
Wikipedia, yeah.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a different thing, but I don't even know. You know, like I said, I may.
And you know which one already?
No. And again,
so you don't.
Yeah, we don't even know if they'll be able to find a bed for me. So like, there's a whole like, we'll see what happens next type scenario going on right now.
I'm crossing my fingers that 2 months goes by. They don't find a bed, but they figure that's, it has been 2 months, and your time is served.
That well, I mean, I think the lawyer said that, like, he's like, you got 2 months, you won't do 2 months, and I was like, really? Well, all right, so
Like
again,
time off for good behavior.
like, I have no idea. He just explained that the system is so crammed full and overcrowded. He's like, if you went to prison, well, they could take you today. They always got room in prison, but not in the halfway house.
If you aspire to be cool guy of the week, I would love to see a Tinder date back to the halfway house, right? That takes a certain level of...
I know for a fact that's not allowed.
But if you could pull that off, it'd be so legendary, right? Like it's hard to get a Tinder date when you live at your parents' house, but if you could do it from a halfway house, I feel like that shows a level of charm that's rarely seen.
You just have to find, and by the way, no loopholes, no like finding the ugliest girl there.
Mm-mm. She needs to be your peer.
Yeah. By the way, I'm looking at some of these pictures. Some of them look like just like the shittiest garbage dorm rooms, and some of them look like bed and breakfasts. It completely depends on which one you get, I think.
This is also a quick read. New patients are admitted in individual rooms, providing one-to-one services and programming. As they become more independent, the dorms become bigger, so that by the time the patient leaves, they're living in 50 to 100 person dorms. According to Wikipedia, I'm just going by.
Yeah, but the thing is, I'm going to be staying for such a short period of time. Like it's gonna, things are going to be different.
You.
Yeah, I would imagine that I'm going to be in a Full Metal Jacket scenario, hopefully without the soap beatings, and just sort of a big open room with like a dozen beds in it.
Is this? It almost seems like, because you get like halfway houses are necessary for people who are sobering up, for people who are for people who are trying to acclimate back to society.
Well, let me explain that.
Prison for a while.
So the way it works, and I think I've explained it on the show before, but any federal sentence, like if they let Timothy McVeigh go, they killed him though. Yeah, that's not a good example.
Any
if they
non-death
hadn't killed
federal
him,
sentence.
The last 6 months of any sentence, whether it's rape or kidnapping or whatever, you spend in a halfway house. It's
makes no sense.
It makes perfect sense for like if you've watched Shawshank Redemption. It just doesn't fit Kyle.
Right. What I'm saying is it doesn't make sense it makes sense. It makes sense if you need to transition. That's why it's called a halfway house. That is what
exactly. Like if there's a transition, like if you do 5 years, it's like, all right, well let's give him 4.5 years, and in the last 6 months we're gonna transition him, ease him into the real world. He doesn't even know the new emojis.
Yeah,
he doesn't know the new emojis.
This guy doesn't know shit about eggplants.
He hasn't gotten onto the crypto scene yet. We got to reintegrate this guy.
Anyone has ever actually used an eggplant emoji to be an eggplant? Like they're like, hey, what are we having for dinner tonight? And it's like, oh,
eggplant.
Oh, Dick. I hate Dick.
Yeah. It's like, no, we're actually having eggplant.
Yeah.
That's not any better.
I like eggplant.
I do too, but I still like Joe's joke.
The main course.
Yes, eggplant parmesan. It's delicious.
Eggplant parmesan is great. I can't think of anything, but I think that's just because parmesan is great.
That's
goodness
it is
of
the lowest
Parmesan
tier.
leaking over into because then the eggplant is merely a vessel, a Parmesan ship into your mouth.
Yeah, it is the
Yes.
lowest tier of the Parmesans. My favorite being chicken Parmesan, which I'm amazing at. But veal Parmesan is also great.
Potato
Magnifique.
Parmesan is also awesome.
Yeah, we're gonna have a little party tomorrow night to celebrate my the end of my legal situation. We killed a fatted calf, so we sacrificed him to Ball, and
Nice.
yep. Ball will be
Gonna
happy.
be lots of drugs at this party.
Are you insane? Are you insane? Strike two.
I'll tell you, I thought
will
of
be
4
no
jokes
drug.
like that and said none of them. It's like
There will be
Yeah, but
There
that's
will
'cause
be
you-
guards outside keeping even if a skunk wanders too close, shoot it.
It's funny you
don't
mention
need
that.
that smell.
I
around.
was at a gas station like 8 months back. I get out to pump the gas, and I needed gasoline. This wasn't just a routine gasoline trip. I was like, "Shit, I'm glad I made it." And I went, "Is that pot?" Yep. Nope. I hung it back up and left. I hung it back up
Really?
and left. Yeah. I was like, "No, can't."
By
be
the
here."
way, the reason I'm making these jokes, aside from the fact of all the jokes Kyle has made at my expense,
yes.
is also because I only have to do this with you guys every couple of months. You guys have to face him next week. So like all the shit that you want to say, I could just say because in a couple months from now he'll already be out of the halfway house. So it'll all be fine.
He'll be good to go.
it's
You'll
not
be-
just
you'll be
about
a
the
free-
relationship.
A free man.
I censor myself on this topic because, like, I don't know. What if I make a joke that the wrong person listens to, or takes the wrong way, or doesn't get the context? We just made fun of my heart attack friend. They might not understand that. Kind of funny.
Yeah. But
Yeah,
it'll
that's
be
funny. That guy
a very
listens to the
wholesome, be a very wholesome,
I-
family-friendly party with some family and friends. Obviously parents have been pretty.
The only
concerned about
substance
the whole
being
thing.
consumed there, alcohol, legal.
And the Lord.
The Lord
and
will
the
be
Lord.
consumed there. Yeah.
Throat deep with the Lord.
I'm not. No.
Balls on
Being
the chin.
teabagged by the Lord.
Yeah.
You know how it is.
Um,
I don't go to church. Am I getting it wrong? Or
that's Catholics, not. We're
sorry,
Protestant.
my fault.
We're Protestant.
okay, yeah.
So yeah, gonna have a good time tomorrow night. I went and got some steaks.
I'm really happy for you, man.
Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
pretty happy myself. I'm just glad it's over. It's just taken so long to do. Just so long to get it over with.
That
And
hanging over your head like a guillotine for years. I can't imagine the stress. Like that was.
It was actually 6 months to guillotine.
yeah, it was more frustrating than anything. It was like, because there were several times along the way where it seemed like today's the last day. Today we'll sort this out today. There were a couple of times where that happened. January, not this past January, the January before that was supposed to happen. Today's the last day. We'll go in. They'll say this and we'll say that. And we'll agree to this thing in the middle. Probation, state probation. No big deal. And then it was like, we'll come back in March and we'll be all done. And we come back in March and it's like, well, might be another year.
You know who you should have got as your attorney? That
Johnny Cochran. But
No.
he's
Cliff
dead.
Hutchinson.
the dude
Overqualified
that
and unavailable.
flips
Blah,
cars
blah, blah.
that was on the show. What was his name?
Vin Wiki.
Vin Wiki. We'll meet in the middle one day at a halfway house.
Yeah, not much negotiation. I did get to speak before the court. I quite a bit.
This
my
time
lawyers-
too?
Yeah, no panic attack this time. That was good. I didn't pass out or anything.
I wonder.
Did you do that? Did you do that in the past?
Maybe that
Yeah.
would be a good look. I don't
Wow.
know.
Yeah, I have panic attacks. I don't know if it'd be a good look or not.
And you clearly cannot use drugs to help your panic attacks.
No,
So-
of course not.
Yeah.
That's what they were for.
Yeah, the idea that like you get arrested for that. And by the way, I know I'm giving you shit for it, and I know also like over the 2 years or so I've done this podcast, like I know we butt heads on stuff, but I genuinely, when I saw that your sentencing wasn't jail, I was really happy.
Yeah,
like
well, thank you.
I did not think that you should go to jail for this shit. I think that it was a railroaded garbage thing. And I think it's so gross that like this is for a thing that everybody knows is not even going to be illegal in a couple of years, and it was crap. And so I'm really glad you just get sentenced to hang out with people you'd probably hang out with anyway.
Yeah. I don't feel like we butt
I bet
heads.
you're
Most of the
gonna
time,
meet
I'm
me-
just playing double.
I like Woody's look on
I'm
that
like,
one.
am I the only one that got that? Okay, it'll just go with me.
Yeah, I would never voluntarily butt heads with you. First of all, death sentence right away.
Absolutely, I would
yeah,
destroy.
and-
I thought you were talking to Taylor.
Well, either. Oh my god,
It goes without mentioning. I am a titan of headbutts.
I would love to see that like face off. Like that would be like
Taylor
an
against
anime
a ram.
battle. Headbutts only. Yeah,
An immovable object versus an unstoppable force.
Taylor
yeah,
and
most
a
of the time I'm just
bull.
playing devil's advocate, and I like to argue
I
the other
know.
side, no matter how
Yeah.
I
poorly.
bet you're gonna meet some cool cats in that halfway house.
I doubt it.
I'm just
sure I'll
trying
meet
to be
some
positive.
interesting.